Hey everyone, it's Mindy Hahne, the Midwest premier sports handicapper, coming to you from TonySpicks.com and the half of the morning show duo, The Morning Steam with Ramon Scott. But hope you enjoy this free pick video from our show. Be sure to click in the link in the description for our best bets. Now here is the pick.
2-touchdown spread here basically between TCU and Georgia tonight. TCU, okay, I get it. Maybe they're not even the second best team in the country, but come on. I mean, they've arrived at this moment. Somehow they're getting 2 touchdowns here against the Bulldogs. You know, TCU, maybe they have the better quarterback coming into this game. How do you see the national championship? And in the chat, who do you guys have tonight?
Yeah, well, it looks like I'm probably going to agree with the chat here today. I'm going to be taking TCU and the points. I model it out a couple different ways. I have a TCU victory by 1, but most of my other have a Georgia victory by about 5. Still not enough here to cover that minus 13 point spread here today. And that's based off of this TCU team that's really been putting up some points. That they all average about 41. Georgia puts up 39, so it's pretty close. But TCU, they just have this really opportunistic defense. That's kind of how I, see this one. They are 20th in turnover margin. They've forced 22 turnovers here this season, 16 interceptions. Georgia, on the other hand, they don't really, right? I mean, I think when it comes down to these games, it's going to be the weird things that happen. Those are the ones that are going to tip the scale. It's usually the first team to kind of make some mistakes rather than not in a lot of these. Duggan can he can produce, on the ground, through the air. I like TCU here on the offensive side here as well. They are 10-3-1 their last 14, covering that spread here as well. I feel like I'm being a little bit predictable, but I'm taking TCU today.
Do you think that TCU is a big enough dog, Mindy, that they're the public side? I mean, they are getting about 2/3 of the action here. So
I would say, yeah, for sure. I think they're definitely the public side today. I mean, you can only watch TCU so much, with the eye test and see them continually put up a lot of points, continually beat teams when it comes down to close games. Again, that true underhand or underdog story. So yeah, I mean, to me, I think TCU is probably going to be the public play. I think you're going to get the Georgia fans here, maybe some SEC folks that think they're going to just go ahead and overpower them, size wise. That's what I think.
Yeah, but it's funny, right? Because TCU is not coming out of the Mountain West or anything. I mean, they're still, the best team from the Big 12. I mean, there's what do we got? I mean, we've got, when you start talking about the conferences, you start with the SEC. I don't know. Do you go Big 10 over Big 12 this season?
Now this season, for me, I mean, geez, if you take a look at it all the way down, I mean, I think they're stronger. The Texas, the TCU, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. I mean, I think they're better overall than you got, pretty good two top teams in the Big 10. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, and we're still going to see shuffling, and we talked about the dissolving of the Pac-12 a little bit, right, too. So, but they had probably one of their best years. So it's just kind of interesting that, this team, TCU, which has been so, good this year and ran that great streak, right? So, man, to me, obviously, we're going to be on the same side here. I don't know. Can we get anybody? Maybe we should just ask the chat. Anybody on? I see close games. So everybody see. You mentioned one of your models, Mindy, with TCU. We'd be sprinkling the money line just a little bit personally.
Probably not. I mean, I still think Georgia has the edge for me. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I just think Georgia has the edge, no matter how it goes. I mean, I'm gonna root for this TCU team, but again, I kind of believe the second model more. That we're probably looking at a 5 to 7 point game in this one, and that's a lot of points. Like if it was a 7 point game, I'd probably take Georgia today. So I think it's just gonna it depends on that extra 6 points or a touchdown there. Again, I can root for TCU. Me personally, probably won't put any money on that money line there.
Well, and Batman asks, have there been? Here's Orlando. I think Orlando is saying he is going to lay the points. He'll be one there. I think. Scotch on TCU here. Batman loves the Bulldogs to roll, but 13 points. And I would say, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying they'll roll, but 13, because a 10-point win, even though that would be a cover, I think if you're TCU, you'd be very disappointed if you can't keep it within a touchdown.
It would
10
probably
points
seem like a blowout.
in a football in a national championship would be feel like a blowout, right? And he Batman asks, I mean, if there have been, but yeah, there have been. I would think if you look at those just a couple of years ago, I mean, Alabama rolled Notre Dame. Remember, and that game was probably worse than the. I think they beat them by 4 touchdowns, and they probably could have beat them by 6 touchdowns in that game. And of course, remember they shut out LSU. They romped Texas. Remember, so there have been some lopsided games in the national championship. Florida rolled Ohio State about 7 or 8 years ago by, I think it was probably 4 touchdowns or something like that. USC, remember when USC stomped Oklahoma and absolutely destroyed them in that game. That was probably 10 years ago now. I want to no longer than that. 20 years ago, I think. So I don't know, my memory kind of escaping me on some of those games way back, but I'm just talking about the games within the last 10 years, certainly.
Yeah, otherwise you can go back to, Florida State beating up on Eric Crouch, right? So, I mean, you can go to that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. To me, it's just, you think about some of those games about 10 years ago, like I said, I think of that Alabama Notre Dame with Manti Te'o and all that. So kind of funny, some of those games. So, but lately, you're right. I think maybe over the last 10 years or so, we've definitely seen closer games of late. So, Batman says Notre Dame wasn't in the championship. Man, really? Man, I thought they did.
Are we going to have to do some Googling?
No, I don't know, but I swear about 10 years ago, they played Alabama in the championship and lost by like 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Well, let's look. Let's see.
Okay. All right. I'm, we got to get, I guess it's Monday. So, okay. He seems pretty insistent. I'm just talking about the BCS national championship game. I'm not talking about anything else before that. So, I don't know. Typing in those game college football playoff.
So it was the 2013 BCS National Championship game. Notre Dame fighting Irish Alabama Crimson Tide.
Okay, yeah.
It's within the last 10 years.
Right, he's talking about the playoff system. So
but this was 42-14.
Yeah, just since the playoff system has come into play, I get it. Okay, I understand. Well,
isn't that still a championship game?
That was perceived to be the championship game at that time. So I get it.
I guess.
Count the last 10 years or however long we've been doing this system. Probably not too many blowouts. Like I said, I don't know. Georgia won by what? A couple of touchdowns last year. Alabama won by beat Ohio State a couple years back by about 4 touchdowns or something like that. So I guess those aren't, Clemson rolled also. I know that. So I don't know. Some of these are okay. Yeah, sure. So Batman, you'd know then. Yeah, no doubt about it. So no, I'm just thinking about that game, back in, what did you say it was?
2013.
2013. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was perceived to be the championship game at that time. But now you're talking about, just the last 8 years of the college football playoff. Yeah. I get that. So, all right. Well, let's hope that it's not like some of those games. Let me see. I'm going to call. I want to see some of these right now. All of a sudden, in the past. So let's see here. 33-18 last year for Georgia. Alabama beat Ohio State 52-24. That's probably a blowout, right? That was the COVID championship. LSU rocked Clemson. Clemson rocked Alabama. There's been some blowouts here. Let's get a close game tonight and cover the spread with TCU against Georgia. Mad Bull wants to lay those points. He's going to lean that way anyway. So I get it. But again, just too many to pass up. They've been such a great story, I would think. So yeah, it doesn't look like it though. Batman looks like some of these, about half of them look like they've been blowouts, and half have been extremely close, exciting games. Let's hope it is tonight. Mindy and I take TCU. Looks like there's just a slight edge to TCU in the chat, but definitely some Georgia support as well.
So thanks for watching, and make sure you get over to the Tony'sPicks.com website right now and check out our All Cappers tab, where you can purchase some of our own personal picks. And be sure to go ahead and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. Okay, have fun. Watch another video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.